I am going to use my ruler. You're literally going to create a guardrail here all the way across. And you're going to want to do this twice. One for the bottom of your guardrail, one for the top. And you guessed it, we're going to shade that part. You might want to use your 2B pencil to shade it because it's nice and dark. Up to you. But we are going to shade that part. You will find the smudging technique helpful today too. So if you need to grab like a paper towel or something, or some sort of cloth, you go ahead and grab it. It's going to take me a minute to shade this in. And if you're ahead of me, feel free to start working on your water. Going back and forth like this. If you're ahead of me, because it's taking me a minute. Yeah, I've always seen the Sydney Opera House in like movies or in pictures. I'd love to see it in person though. I hear it's really cool. Just gonna smudge my guardrail so I don't have to worry about evening out all of my shading. It's just all gonna be smudged. Whenever we do water, we normally use the smudging technique too. It's just able to give you that nice strong base. If you want to stress the reflections in the water after you're done smudging your first layer of shade, you can use your eraser to kind of lighten some areas in the water to kind of get the shine of the lights in the water if you want to. What's nice about the smudging, it's very forgiving. You can always, if you don't like it, you can smudge it back out. If you think it's too scratchy, you can soften it with a cloth. It's really cool. It's really nice. That's why I like it. Okay. Obviously, if one area is too light, you can just add another shade or another layer. Alright, so your building part, you're going to have like a 3-tiered step here. 1, 2, 3. So vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. We're doing this part. This, it has kind of like a little step or a zigzag. Your first step, you're going to extend a line all the way out. The edge here, probably end right here. This is level 1. This is the bottom, maybe the lobby, the entrance of your building. Now, the second step has an awning here, but it doesn't go all the way across. There's kind of like a building right here, or like a section. So we're only going to go part way, and then we'll continue it after we're done developing the roof section here. That way we know when to start continuing it again. So give me a thumbs up or number 1 when you have these 3 steps and these 3 lines. Good, cool. Alright, so this part, there's going to be kind of like a little bit of a curve here, so let's kind of make that a little more curved, just a little bit. And then, see it? Actually, wait, there's something above it. One second. Okay. Alright. Give yourself a hook. And then do the curve. It looks like there's something above it. It looks like they have a skylighting in here. You see it? And they got these like little, they got like these little trapezoid shapes here for your skylight. I don't know if you see them. They're kind of hard to see in the picture, but they're there. this one needs to be fixed. I don't know why they have these here. It's probably to help bring in natural lighting, to help save on energy, knowing how ridiculously advanced they are when it comes to that. There we go. Alright, so let me know when you got your hook and your 2 skylights. Perfect. Alright, right here, there is kind of a dark trapezoidal, I don't know if that's even a word, shape. That's your roof to this section here. You have like an obtuse angle here. So the roof raises just a hair right here, and then it goes a really short amount across, maybe about 1/2 inch, and then it goes down at a very gentle slope, kind of like an obtuse angle, a little bit more than 90 degrees. We just did this part. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to repeat that step, but it's going to be a little bit lower. So it's kind of like they have like a stepping stone roof. Okay, and I will pause. You let me know when you got stepping stone 1, 2, and your very last ledge, your drop off. And we're going to use these ledges here, my friend, on the edge to help us get kind of like the opening. You know how there's like a roofing, and then the roofing causes a shadow to be cast upon the balcony? That's kind of what we're going to do here. And I'll just map this out so you can see it. You get to it when you're ready, all right? No rush. Feel free to give it a pretty decent pressure for that dark shape there. And you got little squares. You got like a little square version of it here. Rectangular openings. Looks like they have some posts or some sort of, whatever you call it, columns. Yes, columns. That's the word I want. Why am I whispering? There's one right here too. So we'll get these guys clocked in first, and then kind of like what we did with our water, we'll add a layer of shade on top of the building, and then we'll erase the lighting spaces in using our eraser, because that will help us get, what do you call it? It'll help us get our stuff in more quickly. Let's add the rest of the dark parts in here before we get started with that smudging process. Alright, so we're just adding a layer here. You want to go in and add these very gentle vertical lines here if you want, you can. I'm not going to worry about it with too much. I want to get that lighting in there first. One layer should do fine here. You shouldn't need more than one layer of side diagonal hatch here. This is a lot quicker than having to cross hatch it. ahead, clean up your line. And anywhere where you see lights, you're going to erase that shape into your paper. So here, I have a rectangular shape, lights, goes about yay long, and you can always very gently, don't outline, you can always add a gentle layer of shadow outside your box to help cement that shape into your paper. But don't outline. Don't do that. No, no, no. Not good. When you outline, you make things flatter, because light does not work solidly in one pattern around an object. It wraps, it moves, it bends, it thickens. So don't outline. You'll take away from the realism of the architectural piece. I mean, unless you want it flat, but I wouldn't recommend it. Anywhere where you need kind of like those little dividers, they have like little dividers here, go ahead and just add a section of shade there. These look like almost like really fancily lit walking area. You see that? It looks like they have like little posts. So I'm adding the posts in there by adding shade. Very gentle vertical strokes of shadow. But it's, since you're looking across the water, it's so fuzzy with the atmospheric perspective, not very crisp because it's further away. And what I told my other student is it might be a little bit difficult, but do your best. Sometimes I have a pointed eraser. I like to use my clicker eraser, which is like kind of like a mechanical eraser. You go click, 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 and the eraser comes out. But your teacher's out of clicker erasable eraser fillers. So if you have something from the dollar store, like a tipped edge on your eraser, that might help. If not, try to use like the side or the corner of your eraser. If you're able to, do these circular lights here when you do your negative drawing technique for your circular lights. So it's a little tricky. So I'm using the very corner edge and then kind of just moving it around in a circular fashion and hoping for the best here. Those clicker erasers are real nice because you can just go click, 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 and then you actually have a pointed tip that's controlled enough to add tiny little details into your artwork. I guess there's no real light here. That's what's nice about the shading technique too, is that if you mess up, you can just smudge it back out. So add your little circles when you get a chance. Your little circles of white here. So you know where we had that kind of angle here? There's a set here of lights. I'm trying to get that in there. It helps if you actually look at your picture instead of trying to draw what you think you see. Sometimes when you get so into your artwork, you forget to look at your picture and you're like, oh, that doesn't go there, that goes above there. It's kind of what happened to me there for a minute. Happens to the best of us.